I am going to wait a minute to see if anyone pops on. Holy activation, holy life, holy union. First of all, my name is Truth, and whether or not you're watching this live or whether or not you come on later, this message is for you. I trust that this message is for you. I'm a bliss activator, an embodiment and intimacy mentor, as well as a shaman. I help visionary leaders and like heart-centered entrepreneurs, people really paving the way for a new paradigm in this world to really crystallize, clear out the old, and integrate into a new embodied way of living. All these upgrades that are happening, all of these shifts that are happening, all of the deleting of old templates and stories, and really pushing ourselves to this next level of embodying who we truly are. I help support people to integrate that into the body and in a daily experience of this beautiful. Hi, Ray and Mark, bless your life. So I'm coming on because I, in my meditation today, just got downloaded with all this information, and so I felt like it was relevant to share because, man, it's not meant for me just to hold and not to share this beautiful powerful information. Hi, Mark. So what's going on with the energies? There's a lot of energetic movement right now surrounding masculinity, surrounding femininity, surrounding women rising, surrounding men rising. What's the balance, right? What's the balance of the men and the women holding each other in union? So that's the topic of today, is union energy. What is union energy, and how do we use union energy to up-level ourselves in all areas of our lives, to be in integration with who we say we are for the world? If you're a leader, if you're someone who considers yourself a road paver in the realm of supporting collective freedom and supporting liberation and supporting owning your gifts, then this is for you. Consider that the work isn't done. Consider that it's okay if stuff comes up for you. Consider that as you continue to step forth on your path, as you continue to say yes, there's birds and playing over. If you continue to say yes to this path, right? Yes to being a leader, you're going to be faced with tests. And I don't mean tests like you're going to fail or succeed, or a test in that realm. I'm speaking of a test to, we are continually faced with similar experiences in order to learn a deeper truth. So wherever you are on your journey, don't beat yourself up for not being done with the work. Or rather more, don't think that you are done with the work. If you're here on this planet and you consider yourself a leader, and if you look at the world as a whole, consider that you are constantly going to be presented with opportunities to love deeper, to have more compassion, to forgive on a deeper level, and to really hold in tenderness the pain and the suffering of the world. Because as a leader and as a heart-centered being, what I'm here to do is to help clear out the old BS that is not working, is not serving our collective unity. And how I do that is I'm presented with opportunities to clear that within myself, right? So it's one thing to speak about it, right? It's one thing to be talking about this and sharing about what's best in the world and, you know, giving advice on how to rectify the Me Too situation and rectify the abuse and rectify the disharmony between men and women. But if you're someone who's here to help support that unity, then consider that you're going to be faced with opportunities to love deeper. What does loving deeper look like? Okay, so my monk self has this deep understanding of what loving deeper looks like, and I am very aware on a cellular level of what loving deeper looks like. However, my mind gets into this huge space of judgment, right? Our minds are constantly throwing judgment out. This is wrong, this is bad, this doesn't feel good, therefore it's not in alignment with my highest good. Consider that whatever's showing up for you is in alignment with your highest good. Consider that if something comes up and you feel radically uncomfortable, right? You are challenged to your very core. Consider it's for you. Consider it's perfect. Consider it's exactly what's needed for you to step into your next level of evolution. Note, if you are a leader and consider yourself a leader, consider that anything that is showing up in your field is for that good, is holding that intention, is really supporting that intention. And we can always open up to more love. We can always open up to more understanding, more compassion, more trust, deeper trust, trust of life, right? So when you deeply trust life, you trust people, okay? You trust yourself. You trust the very nature of life itself to arrange itself in a way that supports you. If you're in fear, if you're afraid and you're allowing your fear to rule your life, then you're going to be met with that same fear. You're going to be met with situations that ignite that fear inside of you so you can look at it again and again and again and again and again. Right. It can sound intense. It can sound overwhelming. I encourage you to seek out support. If you're not able to shift certain things in your life, or something's come up that's really big and you're like, wow, I've dealt with this. I've done this before. I've reached love. I am so in my bliss. This person in my life is just really like rubbing me the wrong way. I encourage you to seek out support of clear reflections who will encourage you to look at yourself in a way that brings harmony to that disharmonious or seemingly like disharmonious situation. Okay, so the other message that was coming up is collective anger. And this one's a little challenging for me to share about because in my journey, I have had a difficult time accepting and processing and feeling anger. Anger is something that a lot of people suppress. It's something that we choose to shy away from because anger is radically uncomfortable. It brings up all sorts of feelings. It triggers trauma wounds. It triggers PTSD for people. It triggers all sorts of things. So in this next level of relating, right, with the Me Too thing and anyone who's really being called to be a voice for that topic, consider looking deeper at where you hold anger inside, or where rather you have anger as an experience that's unintegrated. So for me on this journey, like I said, anger has been something that I have had to really work through. And, you know, I tend to shy away from anger too. Anger can be really overwhelming. It can be scary. It can be all these things, right? But really practice, and this message is for me just as much as it is for everyone, being, if you're enjoying this message, I encourage you to put a heart out, or I wonder who's on, Mark and Ray. Oh, two of my favorite men here. It's a touchy subject. It's a touchy subject to really call out that next level relating is 100% self-responsibility. So if you're feeling anger, own it. Okay? There's a difference. Disseminating this information is pretty deep, and it goes really deep, right? So in life, there's always layers. Like I mentioned before, we constantly are returned to similar aspects in order to learn a deeper understanding of that aspect. So for me right now, what is anger? Anger is I am in lack of acceptance for the way that something is, and I am resentful about it, and I'm holding on to it, and I'm not going to give up my position of righteousness because I am rightfully angry and these people are mean and they did bad things, and so I'm angry and I deserve better, and all of this righteousness comes up as a result of that. Well, one, I'm not going to disown the fact that people do things that are injustice. They're totally not called for. They are harmful. They hurt and whatever. But the theme of this conversation is unity. So how do we come into unity? How do we come into unity with ourselves, thus coming into unity with another counterpart, whether it be a friend, whether it be a family member, whether it be a lover? How do we come into unity? We come into unity by fully rectifying within ourselves any seemingly opposite aspects, right? So it's like on one level I love, on the other level I hate. On one level I'm happy and joyous and expressive, and on the other level I'm angry and resentful and holding things against people and right? in this new level of relating, we're talking about subtle energy. Subtle energy, right? If we're stepping into a new paradigm, if we're stepping into what we consider new earth or new levels of consciousness, right? New earth consciousness, that also pertains to how we relate. So as we're in this collective experience right now where a lot of stuff is being stirred, the pot's being stirred, a lot of anger is coming up, a lot of sadness, a lot of betrayal, a lot of abuse, a lot of all the things, right? All of the painful experiences are being churned up, right? Brought to the surface, okay? So when all of that gets brought to the surface, it's important for us to take a look at ourselves in that, right? Where do we lie in that? How can I forgive more? How can I own my experience more? As things get turned up, it is natural to feel angry, resentful, fearful, intimidated, scared, whoosh, 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 like longing for connection, longing for all of this simultaneously while there's all these feelings coming up. So give yourself space. Know what your needs are. Know what your needs are in order to process and deal with this stuff on your own, because we don't want to re-traumatize people. We don't want to, even a little bit, perpetuate the pain and perpetuate the abuse. So when you're someone who's a leader and you're feeling any senses of anger or fear or frustration and it's coming up for you, consider that it's your responsibility to take a look at it. Consider that it really has nothing to do with the person in front of you. Consider that you're a human being who's had a whole lifetime of experiences. And not only that, if you're a leader in this world, then you're tapping into the collective, because part of being a leader is healing for the collective. And so if people aren't able to access this information and access doing this work, you're doing this work. So if you're feeling anger, own it. Be mindful not to project onto other people your anger. It's one thing to be angry and to express, man, I'm noticing a lot of anger is coming up, and then go seek out the support, go on a walk, do whatever you need to do your practices to rectify that within yourself prior to just projecting and blasting that all over other people. Our intimate relationships can get tricky, especially if we're making love with someone. The lines between what's yours and what's mine becomes very blurred in a lot of ways. Consider that if you're left with an impact of some lingering sensation of anger, frustration, fear, whatever, it's yours to look at. Consider if it comes up again and again for you, it's yours to look at. Consider that the person in front of you is a perfect mirror for you to love deeper and for you to love yourself deeper. Just know what your needs are. Really get clear on what your needs are. Get clear on what it would take for you to show up in love for yourself. Seek out the support of those that really lift you up, right? So we're in a space of tenderness. Find those people that lift you up, that have your back. Big time. Big time. If you don't have friends that are lifting your back up, because man, that's necessary, reach out to me. Schedule a session. I will back you up. I will help you to clear out whatever is not serving you right now. If you have anger, fear, animosity, fogginess, cloudiness, anything that's preventing you from moving forward, reach out, clear it out, integrate, shift. Now, don't be upset if something else comes up again. It's okay. We are human. We are transforming huge collective stuff right now. At the end of this road is unity. This road of separation always ends in unity. So remember that. Remember that all you're clearing out right now is for the purpose of unity within yourself, within the collective, and stepping into a new level of relating as a whole. As a whole. Anything that you do ripples out into the collective, and we share this love so big. I love you. My name is Truth. This is enough for today. This is a powerful message. If you feel called to reach out to me, please do so. I would love to work with you. I help support visionary leaders and heart-centered entrepreneurs to crystallize their mission, embody their gifts, and integrate into this new way of being. I do that in intimacy work, and I do that in deep powerful mentorship and shamanic healing. So please reach out to me. This is a powerful time. It's a time to be consistently receiving accurate reflections, clear reflections, people to hold space for your highest transformation. Reach out to me. I love you. Bless your life. Sending you love, Ray. Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone who's watching this video, whether or not you're on live or whether or not you're looking at this later. This message is for you. Bless you. And in the midst of this whole collective shift we're happening right now, hold true to your heart. Remember what your deepest intentions are, and then trust that whatever's coming up for you to look at is in alignment with those deepest intentions. Bless you. I love you. And happy Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day, that today we're talking about love and unity and healing the collective wounds of separation. Don't perpetuate it. Give yourself love. Be compassionate. Be compassionate towards yourself. If you need some space while you're in your shit, take space. Be mindful not to continue the cycle and give that shit to other people. Take your space, love yourself, then return in union. Open up more, take your space, love yourself, return in union. Blessed be.